Starting three, two, one. Okay, I guess we're already live. It was supposed to give me a countdown. Fucking cunts. Anyway, so we've got volume. You can hear me on here now. You're good?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect.
Awesome, awesome. So everybody, welcome to Metal Truthers. I'm Wraith. I'm here with Brandon. Before we got so rudely interrupted by technology before, we were talking about Yellowstone a little bit. Yeah, like I was saying though, like we actually have no clue how that volcano is going to go off. I mean, I've listened to a lot of people, and the thing is, what I've picked up on is like nobody actually understands how that volcano is going to work because it's a I guess you could say a different type. We don't understand how that works. We understand cone volcanoes because there's a very distinct pattern of eruptions with them, but when it comes to a super volcano, a caldera, you know, it's a different animal altogether.
Exactly.
Um, but I mean, it's still something we got to keep an eye on. I mean, that's never gonna, you know, necessarily go away. So
Oh yeah, of course.
it's eventually going to erupt, but whether it erupts in our lifetime, we'll have no fucking clue. I mean, that's like all those so-called, biblical scholars out there that are telling people that they know exactly what's going on and they know when the end's going to be. Well, that's not actually true. They can't know when the end's going to be because that goes against their own belief structure. So like yeah. Anyway, that's shout out to the serious. Are you serious guy? You've heard him, right? That guy's such a trip. He's like
Oh
this
god.
Christian Alex Jones. Their own catchphrase. Like Alex Jones is check out Infowars.com. Buy this before you fucking die.
Oh my god.
Beware of frogs, they'll turn you gay. So, that's totally a fucking oh, that loop's fucking hilarious. I crack myself up sometimes, man. Alex Jones for you. And then like Paul Bagley's that other fucking douchebag. Oh, are you serious? Christ is coming. You better prepare yourself for the eruption of Yellowstone. Cause Jesus.
Jesus is coming tomorrow. I got the proof to tell you. Yeah.
I've got I got inside information that we've been in contact with Jesus for a while now, and he has plans to come on Delta Airlines.
Right. Because everybody totally
uh,
knows exactly when he's coming.
yeah, totally, man.
Jesus Christ, people piss me off.
Yeah, well, that's the nature of fear mongering, man. These people would, you know, it sells. The end of humanity sells. It's a very profitable business to run around talking about how the entire world is going to end tomorrow.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
of
hi, our
course.
one viewer. Nice to see you. Or are you the one viewer, you son of a bitch?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, you're cheating.
Hey, at least we got somebody watching.
Share the link, you son of a bitch.
I could do that.
Yeah, I could, but I'm gonna have to. Like, I'm afraid to touch anything on my computer at this point because somehow if I do, it's gonna fuck up the live stream.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'm not a technical wizard. Like, we seriously need to get a co-host. Whoever does watch this in the future, because obviously ain't nobody watching right now. You fucking pricks. Um, like we need more people that on this show. Like we love hosting this show, but as y'all see, we take hiatuses a lot right now because we're kind of busy. I've got a lot like shit going on emotionally, so I don't necessarily feel like getting on here and talking to y'all about shit. As y'all saw from my video yesterday, like my sympathy factor and my human compassion factor are very, very limited right now. Like, I do not give a fuck about anybody else's bullshit right now because like I'm going through hell myself and like ain't nobody supporting me, ain't nobody coming around. I ain't got no support on this shit, so I'm like I want to hear about it. Like now, if y'all want to talk about some real issues, like the corruption and what we can do and what we need to try and prep ourselves and our families for, um, then sure, I'm all game. But if y'all want to sit there and like you know idly talk about bullshit, then I'm gonna cut that shit down real quick.
Well, of course.
So, talk about Trump's team member that got kicked or whatever. Do we want to talk about that, or is that pretty
That
much like
Spicer,
not even worth talking about?
I
Yeah.
really don't know what. I'm really not sure what to say about it too much. You
All I
know,
know is that in 2020, I'm voting for The Rock. That way I can see the people's elbow delivered to Kim Jong Un. I want to see the rock bottom to Putin, and I want China to become known as the land of jabronis.
yes.
If these are things he's not willing to campaign on, then I will not vote for him. I will vote for his opponent, who is probably going to be somebody like Stone Cold.
Oh God, I'm voting for Stone Cold.
That or what if it was fucking like, or it could even be worse, it could be something like, fucking Vince McMahon. The Rock versus Vince McMahon 2020. Be prepared for the SmackDown election.
Or Hillary Clinton could run again.
Posted on Facebook yesterday, and everybody stay tuned to What the Fuck America. The next episode is sure to be explosive. Like, we've just stepped into it. Like, this is like one, I don't know, America's almost becoming just one giant MTV reality
It
show.
really is. It's like real world road rules.
More like real world Jersey Shore with a bunch of whiny pricks that are entitled and think they look like gods when they really look like gutter trash that should have probably been swallowed at birth, before birth, at birth. Who cares? I don't care. Things can swallow them at birth. There's fucking sharks out there. These people should have been born in the ocean. That works. Yeah, totally. Cast of Jersey Shore should have been born in the ocean, where they could have been eaten alive.
Yes.
It's for people right now, dude. I really do. Like, I was walking around and earlier, went to go get some coffee and shit and was just out walking the streets and whatnot, because that's what I do when I'm bored. It's one good thing about being back in my hometown. Like, I can actually walk around now without accidentally stepping on private property and getting shot. About getting shot.
Now you just have to worry about getting shot all the time.
Yeah, yeah, for, change. But that's okay. That's okay. I don't think
It
anybody really.
happens.
But yeah, so I was walking around and like this dude and his wife were walking by and they're like smiling and they're like, "How are your day?" Oh, fuck you, bitch. Don't talk to me. And they were like, "That was kind of rude." I'm like, fuck you. Your existence is rude.
Yeah,
Been in a mean mood today. I ain't got no tolerance for nobody. Mm,
I really don't either.
And fucking lately, Facebook's been like just pushing me over the edge with its stupidity and the amount of asinine hypocrisy that I've been seeing and just all over the place.
Yeah, with everything that's going on, all Actually, I'm glad you said something about that. Um, I saw something earlier in Facebook that showed that shit. But before he died, Chester tweeted something about him having some dirt on Hillary Clinton, and like,
I have a feeling somebody's that's like an onion story or something.
no, like it's legit. I've actually been digging into it a little bit, and he apparently
Unless you download Tor and you find me some documents on the deep web about that shit, and I can see some actual like documentation that would prove that they have some kind of like emails or phone or any kind of documentation that actually proves that he may have had information about Hillary Clinton, like that he has any kind of contact with anybody that would actually know her, dirt on her, then no, I believe that's some bullshit that somebody's throwing out there to kind of be kind of and somewhat satirical on the whole, like, with as many people that randomly dropped out, like that one guy that knew something about Hillary Clinton and he tripped and fell on a bullet kind of shit.
yes.
People, that will be on a t-shirt at some point. If y'all choose to support our channel and y'all like us enough, we will make t-shirts and there will be one that has like a picture of Hillary with the smirk on the face and it's gonna be like, did he have information on her? And then on the back it'll be something like, "Oh, what happened? He tripped and fell on a bullet."
yes.
So that's one of my catchphrases, like "Meet the gay whales for Christ." That's a Mitch catchphrase right there. Feel
Absolutely.
free to
Totally worth it.
use it. Yeah, it's sure to offend everybody. That's it's the goal. Be as offensive as possible in this PC culture. I'm not in like that group with Bearing and them. I like those guys, but I'm not in that group. Like, I'm not a troll. I don't care about people's feelings. I don't care if you get offended. I've never I don't care what people think I look like. I never go out of my way to look good for anybody. You can ask anybody. Ask anybody I've ever dated. Ask any of my friends. Ask anybody that knows me, they'll tell you I genuinely do not give a fuck what you think about me or what I do or how I act or what I say. I live the definition of freedom because I truly do not give a fuck. You cannot contain me. You cannot control me. If they manage to ever lock me inside a cell for some reason, I promise you that cell won't hold me. I'll go into my own little world.
I'm pretty much in my own little world anyway.
Oh, dude, I promise you, lock me up in a cell like for no reason with a bunch of people that are in there for reasons, and man, you put me in a cage with animals, and I'm gonna treat them like animals, and y'all are gonna have to keep me in that motherfucker. I promise you. Huh. I'm one of those kind of people, dude. I don't approve of murders. I don't approve of rapists and child molesters, and you know, well, like, I have thoughts about that kind of shit. And and all, if you were to look at my psyche, I'm probably one step away. Like, all it takes is for that one person to push me, and I'll probably be one of those monsters like everyone else. But you know what? Like, at least right now, I know the difference between me and them. You know, and some of those people were just fucking heartless. They lost the fight a long time ago. We're not all born evil. That's one thing I've seen a few psychiatrists say that they think there are some people that are just born demented, and I don't believe that. I believe something has to happen. You can have the greatest family life in the world, but there might be an outside force, a bully at school or something. There's always a trigger point. You have to push somebody over the edge, you know?
Of
It doesn't
course.
just happen. A person that was born just genuinely evil, you
No.
know?
Like there has to be some kind of corruption there.
There's an exposure to, like, with me, it was like I told people yesterday in that video, like, I don't talk about it a lot because, like, for me, that does. Then I'm just bringing up the past, and the past stays in the past, but I know what it's like to be molested. I know what it's like to be abused, both physically and mentally. I know what it's like to be cheated on. I know what it's like to be torn away from your kids and feel like you're worthless. Like, I know about all of these bad things, and I understand these bad things. Um, I understand them very, very well, you know?
Oh yeah, of course.
So,
I mean, I do too.
like for I also I understand the limits that people have to go, and I understand there are people out there that break. Like, believe me, if I wasn't as strong as I am, I would have broken. But there's just something about me that's always kept me from breaking.
Right.
I won't allow myself to get to that point where I commit suicide or I kill somebody. The only way I'll kill you now is of like self defense. If you push me and you back me into a corner, it's fair game. But as long as you leave me be, I'll leave you be. You can survive to see another day, and I will too. You know? That's why on this channel, I'm not a hippie by any means, but I just try to promote this ideology of we all just need to take care of each other and ourselves as a community and not give a fuck about the rest of the world. Let the rest of the world be itself. We should be ourselves. We don't need these large governing bodies. See, the main thing that people aren't getting, and I see it with all these posts about the police brutality and stuff like that, like, all right, let's have a serious talk, people. And Brandon, like, you can either feel free to like cut me off at any point and like take off with this, but like, here we go. You people need to get this through your head. It's not bad cops. It's not bad presidents. I mean, yes, there's the elites, whatever, but absolute power corrupts people. No matter who it is, from the smallest level. If you give anybody any kind of power and they know that they can make their own rules, whether it be in a business, any kind of situation where they're allowed to make rules and there's no rules that they really have to abide by because they're at the top and they get to make those rules, like police. They are the top. They are the law. They enforce the law and the judges make the laws, but that whole system's intertwined together. So you can look at them as the same entity: judges, police, same group. Like that's like two different arms on the same creature. But nonetheless, all right, so here we go. They have absolute power. They make their laws. They are not held accountable for their laws because they enforce their laws, right? Basically, that's what we're seeing. It's not a problem with how these people are being trained. A lot of them are good people. I know people that become cops. It's the power that you wield. It's that vicious, power hungry streak that comes in. It'll come in everybody. You give me a position of power to where I could hold the like people's lives in my hand. If you gave me the power of a god, I would abuse it. You
Of
know,
course. I
I'm a
mean,
human person. I can admit that I'm not perfect. I don't want to be perfect. If you give me the power of a god, I will abuse it. Innocent people would die. That's just how it is.
it's human nature.
So I think it's nature in general.
I mean, that kind of plays into the whole survival of the fittest if you really think about it. Because, I mean, a lion versus a gazelle, who's going to win?
The chicken.
The fuck? Okay, a lion
Oh,
versus a chicken, and a chicken's probably not going to win.
no, you said a lion versus a gazelle. I said the chicken's going to win.
Why? Because the chicken's in Africa and it's probably not going to be eaten?
Why? I don't know, because there's countless universes, and in some universe, there's a chicken that took advantage of the situation and took down a lion.
I would pay good money to see a chicken take down a lion.
I have just created it by having that thought, sir. If you understand the way that quantum physics works and the idea of like the alternative never-ending dimensions theory, the multi-dimensional string theory, I just created a dimension just now. Thought as a creator, because supposedly, that could be one of the purposes. This is a scientist's opinion, not my own. Although I think it's a good opinion. But nonetheless, there was a scientist that came out with his opinion that like we create universes and alternate universes with just like not only our actions but every thought we have. So because I had that thought, there is a universe now where a chicken has taken down a lion. You're welcome. That also means there's a lot of weird universes out there with the kind of thoughts I have. Some very untouched universes.
There's a universe out there where Hillary Clinton and Caitlyn Jenner are in some kind of weird transgender orgy.
No, that happens in this universe. And they roll around on pizza or something.
Ugh, good God. That will forever be scarred in the back of my mind. Ugh,
You're welcome.
no. That's not.
No, but on all seriousness, I still like people. That's another thing that pisses me off. People didn't understand as much as we said it, and a lot of other people were saying it. The whole Pizzagate thing was a fucking trap. It was a shill. It was a false information campaign, whatever. Yes, pedophile rings exist, but Pizzagate did not. They used that. That was part of the structure. That was part of the plan because they knew that they knew people were waking up, so they have to put it out there in your faces. People need to go understand how this shit works a little bit better. If y'all did, y'all would totally be putting all. That's why I said the other day, you people aren't good at putting pieces of puzzles together, and it pisses me off because I understand y'all are intelligent, and it really makes me angry that y'all take y'all's intelligence for granted.
Absolutely.
And
Um, the whole thing with Pizzagate is I could I kind of figured it was, some bullshit intentionally put out there from the beginning, just mainly because of how easy everything was to find.
yeah, I
You
mean, and that's
didn't
why,
really
and
have to
then
dig for information on it.
and it all had to center around Hillary Clinton. You notice that too, like in the people on her campaign trail. Like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it came too, just in time for the campaign. Like, come on, people, really? No,
Yeah,
y'all can't be this blind. Y'all can't be this easy to fool. If y'all are this easily to manipulate, then I need to somehow manipulate you into believing that you'll find God by jumping off a bridge.
well, I mean, technically you will.
Technically. Well, no, because you could survive it. You need to jump off a bridge with like concrete sandals on, if you catch my drift. I don't know why sandals. I should have said shoes, but I feel like sandals are more appropriate for jumping into a river. Yeah, that's right. Make concrete sandals, you fucks. Figure it out. Become unique and invent something new. Show the mafia that the old ways are done.
Yeah, it just depends on what bridge you jump off of. Because I'm pretty sure if you jump off the Golden Gate, you probably ain't going to survive that.
Well, not everybody has the money to go to fucking San Francisco, bruh.
True.
You gotta think about them broke motherfuckers that are just out there keyboard warriors in their mom's basement that don't have jobs and can't save up the money to go jump off the Golden Gate Bridge. They have to find a bridge remote enough to them that will do the trick. And I don't consider overpasses bridges. So jumping off of anything onto a highway doesn't count. No, it has to have water underneath it. There's a technicality with. Okay, we need to stop before somebody jumps off a bridge. We'll get in trouble.
Probably.
This will turn into the blue whale challenge. Oh my god, they convince people to jump off bridges. Well, how fucking stupid do you have to be to jump off a bridge if someone's talking around you like, you know what, they offended me. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna prove to them that I've got courage and that I'm a man and I'm gonna go jump off this bridge. The floor is lava.
The floor is lava. Where does where does that even come into play?
That'd be the only excuse I'd have if I jumped off a bridge. Somebody said the floor was lava at the wrong point in time, and mistakes happen.
Oh God, yes, dude, yes. New challenge.
For on bridges. The floor is lava on airplanes. That doesn't count. There's no floor in an airplane. Well, there is, but you're not on the. It doesn't count. You're in the air. You can't play that game on airplanes. I don't even know where we went with this episode, bro.
I really don't either, but I'm liking it.
Message is now directed at Antifa. The floor is lava. You have to use ropes to play.
No, the road is lava. A lot of them have driver's licenses. The road is lava.
They don't have driver's licenses. They get on the buses that George Soros pays for, and then George Soros ships them from fucking city to city to create havoc. These people don't have money for cars. They've never had a job before. That's why they're protesting. They don't have lives. People with lives don't have time to protest unless it's a legitimate green grass protest. Then you have time, and people suffer during those protests. Like, go look at the people that protested for civil rights and shit. They'll talk about how hard it was because they couldn't afford to pay their bills because they were out there standing up for their rights. You know how many people lost their homes trying to stand up for other people's rights? Now that's a real protest. Now these people are getting paid to protest. That is called something different. That's called bullshit. I call bullshit. That's what that is. There's no other way to put it. That is called bullshit. It's not a protest. It's utter bullshit.
Yeah.
Thanks for being our only viewer, Brandon.
No, we actually have more viewers apparently. Someone just commented on one of the posts that I put in one of the groups on Facebook about you saying the chicken beat up a lion.
Oh shit. Cause
Yeah.
it only says there's one viewer, so
Yeah, I know.
whatever. If there's other people watching, welcome and enjoy the insanity. We were gonna talk about some, pretty intense shit today, but there's really, like, there's nothing that we haven't heard a million times at this point. Like, I'm not even gonna tell y'all, like, okay, World War III is about to break out, because I fucking don't know. If it breaks out, you ain't ready. I ain't ready. No matter how much you think you're ready, you ain't ready.
I sure in the hell ain't ready.
So, like, you know what's gonna be happening? Next out, I'm either gonna be mowing the yard or probably jacking off or doing something of that nature, and it's gonna catch me by surprise, and I'm gonna be like caught with my either my weed eater or my pants down, one of the two, and neither one of those is a good situation during war. So,
No, not really.
and I'm pretty sure, like, if what you think you're gonna know when World War III breaks out, you're just gonna be ready. You take shit. It could happen while you're on the toilet. What are you gonna do? Jump up without wiping and get to killing? Come on now. Yeah, people are too obsessed with doom porn. People are obsessed with death and destruction right now, and it's fucking stupid. Y'all have an obsession with it. I used to be obsessed with it until I had a stroke. Now I'm starting to see things in a little bit of a different perspective. Like, I'm still ready to kill or die at the drop of a dime. Whatever. If it comes down to it, it comes down to it. But I'm not gonna fucking let this shit consume my life anymore. Like, I really do, dude. We were getting so heated over the shit that was going on, and like, there was weird shit happening all the time, and then with like everything, all the stress I was under, like fucking that stroke just kind of took me down, dude, and it brought me to a new level. Like, I'm a little more humble about shit now, but I'm still a douchebag, and I'm still gonna talk shit. So,
Oh yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
it is what it is. Like, I'm always gonna be that dude from Memphis, Tennessee, that if you try to troll me on this channel, you're gonna find out a few things about how to talk shit. But you know what? It is what it is. Like, fucking thinking. Like, that's all this channel is about. Like, If y'all want serious, intense videos, dude, go watch all of our other shit. We've got so many videos that we've done talking about CERN, talking about the corruption. We have a video talking about the history of the Rothschilds, for God's sakes. Like, dude, we've got videos where we've talked about shit, and, we get a few views here and there. But none of you motherfuckers ever comment. None of y'all ever leave feedback. We've been telling y'all for months and months, if y'all want like 24/7 news and shit, we need some extra help. We need a few more hosts. We would like to have some other, maybe some religious people come on. Y'all can have, we'll try to have a conversation with you, but if you're like anti-cussing and shit, then we'll let you have like your own section where you can go live at a certain time every day. Your religious, whatever, and how the shape of the world is to you. And it doesn't really matter about your religion. We don't really care as long as you don't use this platform to try and like preach bigoted hatred because like we don't fucking deal with that.
No.
Like I don't hate you because you're Muslim. I don't hate you because you're gay. I don't hate you because you're Christian. I don't hate you because of anything. I just hate you because you're a person. I mean, I do hate you. Don't get me wrong. I hate you. You're a parasite just like me, just like Brandon. We're fucking worthless. We're humans. We're destroying this planet. And like I said before, I'm not a hippie. If I am a hippie, then I'm probably the most deranged hippie that you've ever seen. Don't be like, oh, well, what about Charlie Manson? Charlie Manson never killed anybody. He just put the idea out there, and other people were high enough to go do it. But, like, I'm liable to actually kill, like, if I get pushed to the limit. So, like, I'm not a hippie by any means, but you have to acknowledge the fact that, I don't know. Me and you were talking about this earlier, either today or yesterday, but I kind of don't feel like, I really feel like humans aren't meant to be here, dude. Like, there's something not natural about us being on the planet. Like, we're not in harmony with nature at all, and it doesn't seem like we ever have been. I mean, the Native Americans and, the Hindu monks and shit, they're about as close to nature as it gets. And even they will tell you they're not in complete harmony with nature. It's just humanity does not, it's something about us does not allow us to coexist peacefully with Earth.
Oh shit! I just came across some fairly breaking news.
Oh, does
Congressional
Hillary have a heart?
Republicans and Democrats announced Saturday that they had agreed to a package of sanctions meant to punish Russia for its actions during last year's presidential campaign, as well as Moscow's military adventures in Ukraine and Syria.
Ooh.
So, first of all, what fucking proof at all do we have that Russia had anything to do with the election?
Was your toast burnt the other morning? It was Russia's fault. That's how we know. Everything is Russia's fault, man. The America's so fucking scared of Russia. It's not. And I'm an American, and I'm proud of my country. Trust me, I love my country. That's why I fucking hate all these dumbass kids running around fucking taking freedom of speech for granted and then complaining that they don't have freedom of speech. You stupid pricks. Bag of dicks somehow. I don't know. Somebody needs to just chop off a bunch of dicks and send them to you, and you somehow choke on them. I don't give a fuck how it happens. Choke on a bag of dicks, you brainless fucks.
But no, like back,
I mean,
back to the
that's just the thing. This is a game, though, dude. That's what we've been saying. It's all set up. I told me and you were talking about it before we went live earlier. It's all set up, dude. Everyone said that Trump threw the elites for a loop. Everybody's listening to Alex Jones drinking that Kool-Aid, and yeah, no, he did not. He did not throw them for a loop. He was part of the fucking plan. And pretty soon they're going to impeach him. The article's already being worked on in Congress right now to have him impeached. It's actually been filed. So,
yeah, it's getting pushed through. What, next week?
yeah, something like that. I mean, so here's the thing. He's part of the plan. He's been part of the plan. These are being set up for the next guy that's going to take office because that's the Illuminati puppet that's going to bring it all down. And I don't like using the term Illuminati, stupid like name for it nowadays because it's such a layman's term, and everybody and their mother's involved in the Illuminati, from Jay-Z to fucking that one midget from Austin Powers. I mean, Shaq's part of the Illuminati. Jesus Christ, come on, people. Like, stop using terms and just ruining the meaning of everything you fucking see. For everybody now, if you happen to have white skin, you are a Nazi. It does not matter what you believe in. It does not matter if you, I mean, to a Mexican, but somehow I'm still hate everybody that's not white. I hate white people too. They're stupid. What do y'all not get about? I genuinely hate everybody. I want us to coexist, all right? I try to preach peace and love on this channel because I hate humans, because we can't get along. If we could all just fucking get along and, you know, man, I really think religion's at the heart of it all. Religion's fucked everybody up. Like, none of y'all can agree on what's going to happen after death, so you're at each other's throats. Like, why do we fucking care what happens after we die? Let's ask your way of death. That you have to invent a reason for there to be something that comes after this to make this whole ride significant to you. Why can it not just living that is significant to you? Why cannot every day be of some significance to you? Why do we have to have something afterwards to make this all so relevant? Because, I mean, if that's the case, then I mean, what if I'm in the Christian God, apparently I'm going to hell anyway, so I've suffered this entire existence. Reasons I don't believe in God, because when I did believe in Him, prayer did me no good. Faith did me no good. To ride this shit out by myself, and I'm still riding it out by myself. So you can't, like, explain to me, hell, then if this whole thing's just suffering after suffering, I'm like, fuck it, might as well still get power out of this shit. You get what I'm saying? So I don't that shit. I don't need a higher explanation for after this. I want to fix what's going on right now because I have children that are going to grow up in this world and they need to have something stable. They don't need the chaos we live in. Do you, like, show of hands of how many of you actually have children out there? Like, do y'all really want our next generation to go through what we went through and what this generation that we brought up, these millennials are the way they are because of certain things fault? Because we should have slapped the shit out of these kids while we had the chance. But we felt like it was stepping out of line because that's what our parents did to us. And we rebelled. So we were like, all right, we'll coax these guys along. Now look at them. They're fucking feminist this, LBGT this, fucking Black Lives Matter this, Antifa that, fucking Trump Hillary. Jesus Christ, man. It's like a revolving circus of fucking bullshit. That's why I signed up with the motto, not my monkeys, not my circus.
I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that.
I personally, I've adopted philosophy. I complain about this shit because I did not vote. I did not partake in this bullshit, and I refuse to partake in this bullshit anymore. Y'all do realize that we have The Rock running in 2020. He has officialized it with the election commission. We have movie stars now running for president of our country. We have The Rock running for president in 2020. Okay? Just think about that. If Trump doesn't get impeached, say he wants to run again, you realize we will have The Rock versus Trump 2020. And what are the implications of somebody like The Rock becoming president? Does he have any clue what it takes to run an entire nation? I mean, not saying that Rock isn't a good person. I don't know, seeing what the stories people talk about him, like, The Rock seems like he's a decent fellow, and so what if he's a great actor? That doesn't qualify you to be president of an entire nation.
Well,
That doesn't qualify you to get control of an already corrupt system. That, I mean, even if you are a good person, you won't be by the time you're in there for a year or so. And if you are still a good person after you've been in there for a year or two, then may I direct everyone's attention to Dallas, Texas? A little bit of history, U.S. history, maybe. A little, somebody was in a car, just so happened to get shot from three sides, and they said it was one guy. Ringing the bells. Yeah. Trying to be a good person and being the president is bad, okay?
okay.
It's not going to work out in your favor, okay? Okay?
Go to the
Being a
bad
billionaire and
guy.
being a president's not a good, okay? You can't support Israel and be the president, okay? It's just not, it's not in your best interest, okay?
I don't know. Trump's doing it.
Okay, and that's why the world's still complete shit, okay? I don't want to say fuck anymore, so I'm going to say okay. Okay? Okay. Huh. This channel has to bring some humor into this. I mean, people, you gotta understand. Like and we try to go live all the time. Actually, we've tried numerous times in the past week, and yeah, so far that episode I uploaded video that got me a lot of hate because people idolize celebrities and they don't
It
like it when people
happens.
spit truth. But whatever. You guys can suck a bag of dicks too. Nonetheless, like yeah, like that episode took me how many hours to upload? I started uploading that episode at what, like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and by like 10:30 or 11 last night, it finally got done up. I don't know what the fuck was up with that. Yeah, I was at. Y'all are lucky y'all got an episode today because I'm still kind of pissed about that. And I'm actually hosting the episode. Everybody say yay for Ray. This is the first time I've hosted it without it fucking up. But then again, I've not at all tried to move the web page from right now. I will not touch my computer because if I do, I know that those goddamn gremlins are gonna fuck everything up. If I breathe the wrong way, this live stream will crash. Don't ask me why. It always happens. We have horrible luck with this channel and like being able to actually stream our episodes. Like, dude, how many episodes have we lost? That technically we probably have like a couple years worth of shit on this already, but like half the time it like fucks up when it's uploading or like cuts out midstream or mid
Or
when
we get it
we first.
uploaded. Or we get it uploaded and it somehow just ends up being deleted.
Yeah, that or like remember back in the day when we first started the way we had recorded in the beginning before we discovered this miracle of technology that's going on right now. Like we fucking like we'd be in the middle of a recording and then both our phones would just shut down at the same time or the calls would just drop out of nowhere, like right when we covered into like something that was a little bit too important.
Yeah, like the majority of the time it was when we was talking about Hillary Clinton and like our phones would just either hang up or they would just shut
One
off.
night that I was trying to tell people about those fucking that weird light that was coming by, and all of a sudden, like right as it got over, like where I was, like my eye in the middle of us were like I was talking to you about it, and we were like trying to go live, and yeah,
Yep. And
that was some weird shit. I'm glad I don't live out there anymore, dude. I mean, I love the peace and serenity that the Texas like countryside gave me.
of course.
Like that, when you're staring up at the sky out there and there ain't no street lights fucking up everything, like you can see some weird shit. Like I don't know, man. I got to the point where I started like going just because I was obsessed with seeing all those lights that didn't make sense because they weren't acting like stars, and I couldn't tell if they were drones or not because it's the middle of the fucking night.
Yeah. But no, you're right. When you're out looking at the sky and you don't have all the street lights and shit to interfere with it, you do see some crazy shit up there.
That's why I'm not a subscriber to Flat Earth because to believe in Flat Earth, I have to give up my idea of outer space. And I've seen shit that like leads me to believe that there's an outer space. Now I have not been up there, and I will never go up there. And people were like, "Oh, why don't you want to go to space? Everybody wants to go to space." No, the fuck Mitch doesn't. Mitch wants to sit on the ground, right where he belongs, where gravity told me I belong. If I was meant to be up there, somehow I would have wings and I would be able to fly way up there. But no, works. Just like I don't believe I'm meant to be in the ocean because I wasn't, I don't have gills and I don't have Jaws' permission to just be stepping all up in his yard and shit. I'm happy right where I'm at.
Same here. If I was meant to swim, I'd have been born with gills and fins.
I mean, I love the water. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I don't really like swimming in fresh bodies of water where there could be something in there that's bigger and faster than me. If it's adapted to live in the water, I don't want to fuck with it. You want to know why? Because I was adapted to live on land, and I was poorly adapted to live on land, but I managed. I mean, because we're not that great at being adapted to the land. I mean, if you really get down to it, go out to the African savannah and outrun a lion. Send me a video of it. When you do it, send me a video. But you have to piss that lion off. You have to like flick it in the nuts or something, and then like I want to see you run.
Put a cigarette out on its nose.
Yeah, do something like you would do to a person. Act like it said your bitch pussy smell like sauerkraut or something, and slap that thing in the face and see how fast it takes you down. Just try it. See how well adapted you are. See how much you are the king of the jungle. See, that's the thing. Humans are arrogant. We are nothing unless we have a weapon with us. We are not superior to any of them. Like, pretty much any apex predator out there has the game on us, no matter where we're at, unless we have a weapon in our hands. That's the only thing that makes us different. But you can have a weapon, and it's sometimes the apex predators still get us. And hell, they get taken out by deer. I mean, seriously, man, like we're not that on top of the game. If you fucking when a rabid raccoon can take your ass down, wait your shit on the food chain. Like I'm just saying, people, we're a little arrogant as our species just because we think we're more intelligent than everything else. But you can't prove that we're more intelligent just because we build things. Okay, so we do things that aren't natural, that completely go against the grain of nature, and that makes us better. Now that makes us alien. I'm sorry, man. Like I just don't see where humanity fits into the picture on this planet. We don't. We just don't make sense here. We're too chaotic for this planet. I literally feel bad for pretty much like every animal species on this planet at this point because we are going to drive them extinct in some shape, form, or fashion. We've already done it to God knows how many species at this point. Between our building things and our hunting things for no reason at all, like that pisses me off too. Not to say that it's not good to sharpen your skills or whatever, but like trophy hunters kind of piss me off. I'm
Yeah,
not even
kind
gonna
of,
lie,
because they're
because
just
like
wasting.
yeah, you just kill the thing and then you waste its meat, you cut its fucking horns off, and everything else just sits there and rots. Oh, I left it for nature. You fucking worthless bastard. Why don't you eat it? At least eat it. And I swear to God, if you're a vegan and you're out there hunting animals, you son of a bitch.
I completely agree with that because, I mean,
We're all high and mighty. You can't hurt the food chain. It's not natural to eat meat. Yes, it is.
we've been doing
If
it
it's not
since the
natural to
beginning
eat
of
meat, then
time.
you explain crocodiles to me, you stupid fuck. Well, it's not that natural for humans to eat meat. Then why do we have canines? And why do we have sharp teeth that are meant to grind down meat?
Exactly.
You don't use sharp teeth for those are for nuts. No, that's what your blunt teeth are for, you jackass. Oh, well, they're for tearing vegetables apart. You can do that with your front teeth, the two ones, your buck ass teeth, your beaver teeth. That's what I use them for.
Yeah, generally.
That's why I call the front teeth. Scientific term for them. This is how I relate to the teeth. You have your beaver teeth, you have your canines, and then you have a crushy, mashy teeth. That's what the back ones are called. The crushy, mashy teeth. You have your canines, and then you have your beaver teeth. Everybody's got that. You got that. There you go. So yeah, we're adapted to eat everything. Our bodies, we can eat everything. There's people out there that get their kicks off of eating glass. Come on now. And some fucking
No, not
that's
me.
that's another example of how humans are natural. How do people just adapt themselves to eat things that are unnatural? If we are natural, natural things can't adapt in that form. If things are unnatural to the environment, 9 times out of 10 they damage the environment. And carry no plutonium back to a fucking ant colony and something good come from it. Although I will do one day, I want to see it because we're gonna catch it one day. It's gonna happen as people start to dwindle off, and like if we were to like start becoming extinct because of our own stupidity, like there'd be like a point in time where we'd see like a colony of ants just fucking marching around with a Glock.
So I just came across a study that says vegetarians and vegans live longer than meat eaters.
Well, good for them. I don't want to live longer. I don't understand why anybody wants to live longer. What about this is so like this existence is not enjoyable enough for me to want to be like. That's why I don't understand the elites. All right, let's talk about that for a little bit. Like, let's get on to the topic of the elites and their search for immortality here, which is what all this transhumanism is about. Like, why? Why does anybody want to live forever? What is the What is the point? Like, even if you could rule over all of this forever, why would you want to rule over it forever? Really? Why? What is this obsession with immortality that people have? I don't understand it at all. And the whole like, I could get selling your soul for power aspect, because like, fuck, everybody wants power. And if you knew selling your soul could get you absolute, you know, unconditional power, then fuck, most people would do it. Even though a lot of you people are like, I'd never do something like that. You would. If you knew it was a genuine opportunity and it was something real as fuck, most people would take that offer. You know what I mean?
Well, of course.
Like if a demon popped out of smoke right in front of you right now and offered you unlimited power, like all of your wildest dreams could come true, all you had to do was sign on the dotted line. A lot of you so-called self-righteous people wouldn't, y'all would sign. You can say you wouldn't, you would. Especially if you had a family that was struggling. You had kids that were barely fed because you're one of these people that works at McDonald's busting your ass for nothing because society doesn't offer anything anymore. You know what I mean? You would sign that no matter how hard you try to tell yourself you wouldn't. And do you want to understand why I can say that? Because I know I would sign it. Because I struggle to take care of my kids. And if I knew that if I had to sacrifice my soul, but I knew they could have everything and they would never have to suffer, they would never feel pain. If that was part of the conditions, I'd sign the dotted line in a heartbeat because I don't care what happens to me anymore. I care about my kids, though.
Exactly.
You
I'm the
know,
same
for
way.
them at this point.
You know, to hell with what happens to me. As long as my child is taken care of and, you know, the parts of my family that I still keep in contact with, as long as they're taken care of, I could give a shit less what happens to me.
Exactly, but you see, we still now we're not saying we're say a lot of people are like, oh well, that makes y'all like already y'all are lost. Like whatever, you don't understand what it means to struggle. Obviously, like maybe you got that final break in your life, and you can believe it's all due to faith. I've tried to tell people 1,000 times what it is it's your own subconscious taking control. Every day when you pray for a promotion at work, if you actually paid attention to you would notice that your attitude about your job had changed, that you went in there and you looked a little bit better every day. You worked a little bit harder every day. You made sure you were noticed by your management every day. You did things above and beyond that you didn't even pay attention to because subconsciously, every night when you got on your knees and prayed and said, I want a better job, like a better position at this workplace, you were pushing yourself. You were subconsciously programming yourself to do better because you had a goal in your mind and it was so locked into your mind that subconsciously that's the only thing you were pushing yourself for. But, people don't like to give themselves credit for the things they achieve. There's always got to be something mystical or magical about what we do. And I'm not saying there's not a higher power out there, you know, I believe there's energies out there, both good and bad, and there's definitely something higher than us for sure.
Of course.
But I'm saying that this existence is for you to take care of yourself and to learn a vital lesson. And too many people are obsessing about the man upstairs and him judging how they're living instead of living. You are missing life. We all have been. I'm guilty of it. You're guilty of it. We've missed life because we're too busy walking on eggshells wondering what's going to happen after life.
Exactly.
Saying go out and do what you want and have sex with countless hookers and eat babies and,
Yeah,
live life to the fullest. I'm not saying that at all. You have to have a moral compass. That's what the purpose of this journey is for you to figure out how to be a decent person that can coexist in at least the best amount of harmony you can with nature and yourself. Does that make sense?
yeah, it does.
I mean, I'm not trying to be all super philosophical on people. That's not my goal. I'm just saying, like, this is part of the thought process. This is what this channel is about. Thinking outside the box, thinking deeper than just what you've been taught in your schools and churches and your family structure that was raised by the schools and the churches. Like, we just want you to think for yourself. Have a thought out of for yourself. It's your own thought, not something that Fox told you to say, or that MTV told you to think, or that your favorite artist told you to think. I'm not done. Huh. Those are just little slick stabs. Stab, stab, stab. I'm stabbing at the heart of the emo kids right now. I'm sorry, guys. Don't cry.
I like
Don't
emo
worry. They'll have
kids.
a pretty soon. There'll be a hologram for Chester, and he'll be back. Don't worry.
I like emo kids. They give me something to laugh at.
Yeah, but I don't want to get charged with cyberbullying. God forbid. Yeah, you made somebody cry and you hurt their feelings, 'cause feelings are important.
Oh, poor little bastard.
Motherfucker, I was raised not. My dad straight up told me when I was growing up if I showed any emotion, he would beat it out of me, and he did a damn good job of doing it. Like, my dad tried to raise me, I guess you could say almost in the old ways. Like, I lived to protect my family and, to protect my right to live. And I don't give a fuck about anything else. Don't cross me, and you won't get hurt. Cross me, we'll find out when you cross me.
So was your
Huh.
dad a drill sergeant at any point in time?
No, my dad was in special forces, but he's just a
Okay.
really fucked up person, and he didn't like the fact that I cried because it annoyed him.
Shit.
That's
Which
what I'm saying. People have no fucking clue when they talk about it, like I don't understand hardship. Like if they knew what I've been through, y'all would be 9 out of 10 people if they heard my life story would go, "How have you not already killed somebody or yourself? And why don't you just do it? Why do you keep trying to fight to be a good person? Because it doesn't seem like life wants you to be a good person." That's exactly it. I like to defy fate. You know, I feel like the fates have put me in a position to where I was supposed to do something really bad by now, something really drastic, something that taught a lesson to everybody through action that is unparalleled. And but I refuse to go down that road. I'm not going to be that guy. I'll reach the world through like overcoming the fates and like not giving in to that darker side, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, that sounds like crazy talk." Well, fuck it. If I'm crazy, I'm crazy. I don't give a fuck. You know, if I'm crazy, then why don't I just hurt people? Doesn't make sense now, does it? Crazy people do crazy things. I just have a complex thought process that makes me like different. You know, I don't comprehend things like y'all do because I don't see people as people. Mm,
I,
we're all insects. Sometimes you sound like a Japanese schoolgirl in a bad hentai.
oh Lord.
Huh? Oh,
Oh Lord.
konnichiwa hasawa.
Oh Lord. Just
What? Stop summoning people on our channel.
do what?
Don't summon people on our channel like that.
What do you mean?
You say his name 3 times and he shall appear.
Oh God.
I just assume it works that way with every kind of, from demons to angels to gods. It'll just start saying their name too much and they'll show up. That would suck if that actually worked, because you know how chicks love to be like, "Oh God," during sex. Say one too many times, all of a sudden Jesus is just standing there with his arms crossed, frowning at you.
It's like you know you're not supposed to be here. You're not
And
supposed to be
totally
doing this.
not supposed to call my name out during this whole, thing y'all have got going on right now. You've all like got the whips and the chains, fucking chick's got a strap on.
And the cattle.
Things have gotten really kinky.
Trust
Oh man.
judging by the size of this
God,
one,
I
dude,
wish I
you're
could
gonna
get a
eat
hold
that
of
cattle
Project
prod later.
Bluebeam, dude. I swear to God, let me get a hold of Project Bluebeam for one day. I'm gonna ruin the sex lives of a lot of fucking people out there.
Make
I would just find the kinkiest, most like deplorable sex acts I could find, and then just Project Bluebeam Jesus just standing there shaking his head the whole time.
yes, I would totally do the same thing.
Go to every goddamn porn set in the world, like in that day, and just like fuck with them. I just want to fuck with people. That's really what it's all about. Like, not necessarily with this channel, but just in general. Like, find such an easy thing to break and fuck around with. So why not? People are fragile creatures.
Speaking of Project Bluebeam, has there been any developments in that recently?
I don't know. Somebody shared a video the other day of something that looked like some kind of like Death Star or planet or some shit. I don't know. It looked like CGI,
Sweet.
but people say it was like fucking Project Bluebeam test, whatever. Like,
I like the
I
Death
don't know.
Star,
I haven't really.
except it was weak.
Uh, yeah, yeah, totally. You get taken down by a kid with the Force. But nonetheless, man, like, but speaking of Star Wars, man, like, I was trying to point that out the other day in my episode. Let's talk about our like that for a minute. The Star Wars project, like everybody's been talking like, oh, space-based weapons are crazy. Anybody who thinks that we have laser weapons in space is insane. Nobody would ever attach a laser to satellites, and laser weapons don't even exist. Y'all do understand that if they show us technology, and this has been proven, the U.S. public is always anywhere from 50 to 60 years behind the technology the government actually has. Well, they just showed you laser weapons. Do you know what that means? you're 50 to 60 years behind on what they actually have.
Yeah.
So, just like every time they release a new phone, that's actually 10 years behind what they've got already ready to come out. Something that's already been invented. That's way better than like these PlayStations. They've already got something way better than the PlayStation 4 out, but they're just going to wait a couple of years and then they'll market it, make it look all big and fancy, put all this, oh, this is such brand new developing technology. For us, yeah. For them, nope. They've had it. It's boring for them.
Exactly. That's why they're releasing it to the general public. They're like, we're done playing with it. Here, you guys can have it now.
Yeah, it's like we're done. We wanted y'all to think the nukes were the most dangerous thing on the planet, but here's the reality. Let us show you this laser we've had in space for about 25 years now, and watch us obliterate this entire country with it. Watch us cook this country alive. I mean, people just don't think about the ramifications of what that means. The fact that we have a laser on a ship now, and it's a weapon. Do you think that's the only one, really? You think they've just got that one laser now, and that it's just now being put into use?
Yeah, that's totally all they have. Because when they came out with nuclear weapons, it just started out with one, right?
Yeah, and we just happened to build it, and like we had those two ready to go, and those were, we just so happened to test them on a Japan. I mean, you people got to think ahead of the program, man. That's the problem. They've kept y'all 2 steps behind. Well, they kept y'all 10 steps behind. Now that they're starting to wake up, we're still like, even me, we're still like 2 or 3 steps behind these bastards at this point. Like, they've already pre planned this. They already know we're going to rise up at some point. They already knew that we were going to all start waking up. They knew we were going to start talking. That's why they regretted the internet as soon as they put it out. That's now why they're trying to shut down and control the internet as much as possible because they realize they made a very big mistake. Because now the people have the ability to congregate, even though they aren't physically there making their plans. There's actually now all these like-minded people can formulate their plans, and then when they do all finally get to, you know, want to join up in a physical setting, you not only do you have the mob mentality, but you have the mob mentality with a set plan of attack that these people have all coordinated without ever having to meet each other. I mean, that's pretty fucking devastating. You don't control things just right, that's devastating to anybody that wants to be a tyrant,
Oh yeah, of course.
you know? I mean, but it's all part of a plan. I mean, that's why things are going to the chips now, and I found out there's restaurants around Memphis already that are fucking like, and bars and stuff where they only accept credit cards. Like, there is no cash allowed in those bars.
There's actually a growing number of businesses that's starting to do that.
Yeah, because they're pushing us away from money. They managed to dumb down the people enough to where we actually thought a piece of paper had value. And now they're just going to take that piece of paper completely away and say your value is going to be on this card and it's whatever we determine it is.
So what's the purpose of the cashless society?
To control everybody, to control what you do, where you go, how much you spend, when you spend it, where you spend it, and how you spend it. They have complete control if they take cash away, dude. Think about it right now. Even if you get direct deposit, you can, like, if you want to go buy some pot and you're in a place where it's illegal, you can go draw your money out from an ATM and go buy your pot, you know? But cashless society, all of a sudden that is taken away. If you want pot, the only way you get it is to go through the government, and you have to have your funds, which will be on their card, and then you would have to go to some place where it's legal, and you would probably only be able to smoke it at that place where it's legal. They would control everything you do. Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, you got to think about things as if you were in, like, if you wanted to take control and you wanted to have complete control over the people, think about it on a level like, all right, first you have to literally think above your intelligence level, number one, which is what I do all the time. I tried to think of step above my intelligence level because even as intelligent as I am, I know that these guys are more intelligent than me, obviously, or else I'd be able to bring them down right now. So you got to think, all right, try and form a thought process that's at least 4 times more intelligent than you are now. Just try, knowing that you can. So your strategy isn't even close to theirs, but understand that you can get pretty close to the overall picture. But this is, like I said, this is the formula to do it. So you try to think 4 times more intelligent than you actually are, right? All right, so you've done that. And then you have to think about it as in think about it almost like a chess game, or think about it like you're playing a simulation of a war game, something like Empire or Civilization. Let's say something like that, because Sims is too mediocre. All right, let's say something like one of those where you have an economy, you have your builders, you have your citizens that you have to keep happy, blah blah blah, and then your wars with people that don't agree with you, blah 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 blah. All right, Civilization is actually the best example of like how you could use a formula like this. All right, so yeah, think about it this way: if you wanted complete control of your the population to the point where like you could even control their emotional states, because they know that if they get too upset and they let it be known, bam, they're dead or whatever. And but you could also control like their happiness by like basically convincing them that you having control of all the funds is the best way to go about it, and that they don't need the free will to choose their own destinies, blah 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 blah. If you can manage to control like their thought process to a certain level, the easiest way to control the people would be to basically have control of every what we would consider their currency, and that you trickle it down, and basically, nobody really has more than anybody else at that point, because you're not going to let people have more than everybody else, because if everybody's not living in a certain living situation, you'll have too much crime. So what they'll do is they'll take the less desirables, lock them out, and then they'll have what they would call their mega cities, and their mega cities would all look a certain way. They would have certain styles of clothing that were pretty much universal and unisex. That way nobody could be offended. They would basically take away all need for lust or greed. But it would be a false utopia,
Right.
because the people are just dumbed down. They would have, they'd be too, it would be dumbed down in fear that was keeping that populace in check. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be a free will thing.
Well, of course not.
I know I'm not articulating this very well, but people can get the gist of what I'm saying here. You know what I mean?
Basically, they're living in what they think is a utopia, but it's just because they're too dumbed down to really know any different.
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen if they managed to implement a cashless society. Think about it. They've been trying to push people into these big cities forever. They're trying to push people out of the countrysides. They're trying to corral everybody into these certain areas. Well, then you notice how everything's being built more and more generic every year, and every new generation, when they update their models are becoming more and more generic. Less is standing out. Well, that's what the whole purpose is. Eventually, it's just going to be a bunch of basically skyscraper type apartment complexes that have apartments that all look the same for, whatever size family you may have, and everything will be controlled. They'll control how much you have coming in. Everybody will pretty much be on a universal income at that point because you couldn't stop them from putting you on a universal income. I mean, how would you? There's no paper money. You don't get to exist if they don't give you money. You end up on the outside of the walls with all the other vagrants fighting for scraps.
And then, I mean, you are going to have some people that stand up and say, we're not going to take it.
And they would die.
Eventually, yeah.
Well, I mean, the way things are going right now, if they were to have these cities implemented with it by, say, 2030, say that was the Agenda 2030 right there, say that's how it was going to look at the end, the people that wanted to revolt would have already made their stand and been crushed. There would be nobody else, and the people on the outside of the walls, they would never be able to revolt because they'd never be able to get the utilities it would take. Most of them would be too weak from hunger and disease to fight at all. I mean, really, the elites have the perfect plan. Like, if you don't, like, once you start seeing those mega cities coming up and you see that they've eliminated cash down that way, everybody best stand the fuck up right then or after that point. Like, as soon as that gets to that point and then cash is eliminated and those cities have been fortified, it's too late. Like, at that point, the revolt that comes, and, you know, from that point on, you're either going to be part of the program and be a slave to their system, or you'll be outside the wall and hope to God you don't die from some horrifying disease or, starvation, and hope to God you don't end up being the reason you're, like, say they decide to be cruel as fuck and they throw your kids outside the wall all because you stood up. I mean, at that point, it's too late to stand. So that's really what you've got to think about too. Like, how much time do we have left to stand before it's just too late to stand?
Right. And getting people to stand up is the biggest uh, obstacle we're facing.
Well, people have been taught not to. Most people nowadays are scared. They feel like they have too much to lose.
Yes.
They would prefer to go along with the system rather than stand up against it and lose everything
Exactly.
for nothing because, people don't like to take risks anymore. And back in the day when, the Goths and Visigoths and Romans and people like that were conquering the world, they took many risks. They took many chances. You didn't know if you were going to win that war. You had no fucking way. They had no way of knowing the outcome of those battles, but they charged in there regardless and gave it 100%, and that's how they either won or lost the battles.
Right.
We don't have that mentality anymore. If anything, most people dedicate about 20% to anything they do. Definitely not many people out there giving it literally 100% and whatever they want, they're going for. Most people are giving things 10, 15% and wondering why they never seem to go anywhere with it.
Right.
They complain they want a better life, but no one's ever really willing to put the effort out to make their lives better. And I'm kind of guilty of the same thing to an extent myself. Like, I want a much better life than the one I have now, but for me to do that, there are probably a lot of things that I would have to change, and I don't feel comfortable changing anymore at this point. So I'm going to have to learn to be content with what I have till I get, to that point where I'm like, all right, now's when I'm ready. Here's the point where I'm ready to go to that next level.
Yeah.
I mean, people need to learn to be content. That's what part of that idol worship, man. Y'all are so wrapped up in MTV and the mainstream media and all these celebrities and all this fame and
A bunch
you're
of people
all this
whose
shit. Like,
existence in no way affects your own.
other than the fact that at this point you're emulating their lives, you want to be up on that level. You want to have all those fancy things, and that's real. It's become a materialist society to the point where y'all don't think about the little things. It's all about, what's trendy and what's cool and, what makes you seem like you're, the best of the best at this, that, and the other.
Herd mentality.
Most people are worried about video games and, the newest movies and shit like that. Like, ain't nobody worried about real life anymore. They've got their technology, they've got their toys and their devices, and, real life doesn't really matter to them anymore because they know at the end of the day, after they get home from work, they get to go sit down in front of that PlayStation and that, fancy TV, and that's it right there. You know what I mean? They get to sit there in front of their fancy gadgets and disconnect. And as long as they get to do that disconnect for a few hours, the government can do whatever it wants. They can raise the taxes, they can take away more and more of their rights, but just keep giving them gadgets. I mean, that's kind of the society we live in nowadays, man. Just keep delivering us newer and fancier gadgets and wage as many wars as you want, take as many rights as you want. Just don't take our Call of Duty.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, if there's anything else you really want to talk about, man, or any topics you want to go on, like anything that's on your mind, go ahead and spit some shit out. And
My
after
biggest
that,
thing is, what is the purpose of the elites wanting total control? Like, who are they showing off to? Who are they
well,
proving themselves to?
nobody, nobody.
Then what's the
Well, I mean,
point?
unless it's I mean, it could be if you're looking at it from a Luciferian objective, they're trying to gain as much power as they can so that when Lucifer gets to take over his realm, tortured along with everybody else that was left here, instead they'll get positions of power. And, I mean, that's one aspect of it. Then you also have the aspect of there are some people out there that are complete psychopaths. And you have to think in the way of a psychopath. Psychopaths like to dominate and control their victims. Well, when you are allowed to do this for so long, which most of these elites have been pampered this way, and from it upwards, they were taught to bully the, subjects in their schools and, look at people as lessers. So when you're programmed this way, like to look at, normal people as lessers, then you want to control those lesser beings so that they continue to produce things for you and you don't have to do anything. You live in complete luxury off the work of others. Does that make sense, man? That's really what it kind of boils down to. They want to live in luxury based off of the sacrifices of us.
Okay. So I thought it was
Their goal is to live in mansions made of our bones.
like I had it in my mind that it was literally all about the power.
Well, that's exactly what power is. I mean, that's what their power is. Their power is to have us do every little thing for them to build them empires. And they live like kings and they eat the finest foods and they do whatever they please in life and fulfill their greatest desires all off of our work.
Okay, so basically It's forcing us into slavery so that they can live luxurious lives.
Well, yeah, and do whatever they want. Like I said, fulfill their darkest fantasies and all their desires, and they get to literally do whatever they want. They're complete psychopaths. But they've managed to formulate a system because they were so psychotic that because people think that psychopaths have to be stupid for some reason. I guess because Hollywood portrays a lot of these killers as just kind of dumb. But most psychopaths are extremely intelligent. That's how they get to do the things that they do. It becomes a craft. See, just you have to learn how humans work, and then once you learn how the human brain works, you can exploit certain parts of the human brain.
Hmm.
And once you've learned to exploit those certain parts, whether it be through speech, body gestures, things, blah blah blah, you can convince people to follow what you want to do and what you're telling them to do. And then their free will is now under your control. You actually have manipulated them through certain tones of voice, certain movements of the body while you're talking that are almost hypnotizing to that person. Like I said, it's all mind play. So really, it's kind of like a big game for them. You know, they're toying around with the minds of the people. Um, if that makes sense to you. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm making very much sense to anyone right now, but that's,
It makes sense.
when you ask me my definition of something, that's how I look at it.
No, I mean, you are making sense. It's just, I don't know. Like, there's other ways to live a life of luxury.
Yeah, but you're not thinking on with the mind of a psychopath. You're trying to think of it coming from a normal standpoint. You're trying to think of it as a normal person looking into their world. Don't look at it like a normal person looking into their world. Use method acting here. Become someone else for a second. Think like a psychopath. Think like someone who gets off on depravity and just being able, like, if you want to kill somebody, you want to be able to do it with no repercussions. If you want to rape a child, you want to do it with no repercussions.
Of course.
Think like a psychopath. I mean, literally, if you want to understand these people, think like a psychopath and then start asking yourself the same questions and see what you come up with in your own thought process of how you would get these things.
Right.
And it, I'm telling you, man, that's exactly how you figure it out. That or you just have to be through enough shit when you're young enough to where you become disconnected from humanity to begin with, like me. And then the elites in their process doesn't really, it's not so complex to me because I understand, like, not really viewing humans as human beings and not caring, you know? So if I was given a position of power, I'd be doing everything they do probably because I would fully disconnect. Right
Right.
now, I have a conscience because I'm still in the gutter. Live with the struggles, so I understand people, to an extent. That's why I don't like rich people because a lot of rich people have to create their own fucking problems because they don't have real world
Yeah,
problems.
they don't have problems like me and you have, like going to the grocery store and being out of money so you can't buy something to eat for the night. No, like they have problems because let's see, what would be a problem a rich person would face? Gucci just sold out of that.
There's
Uh,
a lady that we did, the neighbor of someone whose yard I cut. She's a rich lady that, because at one point there was some rain and they had a sprinkler system going, some water had puddled up. Well, some frogs, yard toads had laid some tadpoles in that puddle, and she put up a cone to keep people from driving over that spot and overwatered her yard, like drowned her yard every day just so that water would puddle up there so those tadpoles wouldn't die. And she was just so scared that they were going to die. will do. That's a rich person problem for you right there.
Honestly, I
This
would
is,
probably do that myself.
well, what the
Because I mean,
fuck, man?
that's
There,
that's saving an animal's life. The animal didn't do nothing to nobody.
dude, that's just nature, though. I mean, do you know how many frogs there are outside? Those tadpoles are either gonna make it or not. All she really did was create like a fucking massive all-you-could-eat buffet for the birds in the neighborhood,
True.
and she made a breeding ground for mosquitoes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And then it dried up a couple of days anyway because it stopped raining, and she realized, oh shit, my water bill's going up, and my yard's getting like kind of fucked up because I'm overwatering my grass. And she created a whole new set of problems for herself because that's what rich people do. But they're trivial problems that make no sense to normal people. Like, rich people don't worry about being in debt.
And see, that's one thing that, that kills me about society. People with money, God, people with money don't really have real problems. And when they do face a problem, they have enough money to where they can just pay somebody to get them out of it.
Yeah. Well, that's just the nature of money, man. I mean, money has become a form of power, and like that goes back to what I said earlier. Power corrupts. Power is nobody can have power without it corrupting them.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, hell, look at your pastors in your churches. They're supposed to be wholesome, godly people. Get thousands of dollars of donations every week, and grade the church some, but the community still complete shit. And you know, even though the community still complete shit, that dude's driving around in a fucking Bentley.
Exactly. While the rest of the congregation is driving around in fucking beaters from the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's gotten to a point where people are focusing on the wrong things altogether. And it's just like crazy, man. Like the way things are in the world and the things that people consider, you know, important to them nowadays. Like, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm starting to lose touch with why humanity, like, why I'm even fighting for these people anymore. Because, like, I don't understand why I'm fighting against a system that you people so willingly embrace. You know?
Exactly.
We say what we say because we want y'all to think for yourselves, but tomorrow y'all are gonna all freak out because of the new Game of Thrones episode or whatever show you're fucking into. And yeah, you'll totally forget what we talked about today. I mean, that's just how it is. You'll totally forget about all the things we've talked about in all of our other episodes. You
Yeah.
know? But anyway, I'm getting pretty fucking tired, man. I don't know if anybody's still watching, but we do appreciate everyone that tunes in.
Always.
You know, sometimes we just fuck around. We just talk about bullshit, crack some wise jokes. When there's something breaking, we do drop news when it's there, and relevant. We need to talk about it, but otherwise we just talk about shit in general. As you see, like we'll talk about a lot of topics, and we've got, there's some serious topics we are working on. We didn't really go into them tonight because, those are more things where we're going to have a more structured platform and episode based solely on those topics. So,
Right.
just hang in there. Right now, we're just getting back into this. We're kicking it off. We're letting y'all know that we're still around. We're about to swing into full gear because, as y'all can see, I'm hosting this tonight very easily. Brandon's got a computer as well now. So, here we go. Metal Truthers is back. We are up and operational. We are looking for more hosts, especially if y'all want better and more diverse content. Especially if y'all want a few new voices in these roundtables. And for anybody that comes on, know right now, when we post up an event, you see it. If you're a host on this channel and you see Roundtable, come on there. It's going to be a night exactly like tonight. We're going to talk about pretty much a lot of things. Talk about some bullshit. We'll have some fun. But, yeah, you can't be like all uppity and uptight, and if you don't say the word fuck at least once within the first 10 minutes, you're probably going to like regret coming on with us. So
Yeah, probably.
just bear that in mind. We're not PC. We don't give a fuck about feelings. So, yeah, if you come on to one of our round tables, you better be prepared. And, like, we'll have fun, man. That's what this is about. We're trying to get people to interact with each other. If anything, Metal Truthers just want y'all to start talking to each other. Take some of the topics that y'all like, that sound good, that really interest y'all, and let's start conversations about them. And then we'll go deeper into those topics. You know? That's the thing. It's all about interaction. That's what like humans are supposed to be doing. And sure, y'all interact here and there, but man, that's not communicating. That's not being a community. That's not figuring things out when you send one message every few months or you comment every now and then on a Facebook post. Come on, people. It's not how you be people. That's not peopling right. You have one job and you're not doing it right. Just saying. Not trying to put you down. Just saying. You have one job, being a people, and you're not peopling right. Got to fix that. You got to start doing the people thing right. If you're going to be a people, we got to people it right. Get it? Got it. I'm just going to become trans species and self-identify as a bear. And I'm going to start raiding into people's fucking houses and taking all their food. Because I'm a bear, and that's what bears do. Trans species. Can I self-identify as a Pokemon?
Why not?
I'm gonna see if that's the thing. Start a movement. I self-identify as a fuck at you. I don't know if I could self-identify as a Pokemon. I'd be Mewtwo. That's a pretty cool Pokemon. I self-identify as Yu-Gi-Oh. Everybody, let's duel. Yeah, thanks for hanging in there, people. Y'all have a y'all have a good night, and yeah, don't let the SWAT teams bite.
Amen.
Listen to this kind of stuff nowadays. Liable to get your door kicked in because you just so happen to have a thought that was your own, and thought police didn't like that. That's a thing soon. It will be. I promise you. and be looking at some. What was that movie? What was that movie way back in the day with that one horrible actor? But where like there was future crimes and shit, and they were always like arresting people for like shit that they hadn't even done yet.
Are you talking about it had the main character, his name was Roddy Piper. Uh
No, that's They Live. They Live. That's that movie about like when he gets the glasses and sees the. No, I'm talking about the movie where like it was a dude was a part of a police force where they fucking arrested people for shit that they hadn't done yet, like murders and crimes and stuff, like before they happened, out of nowhere, and be like, "You were gonna be like at this date, at this time, you're gonna kill this person." He's like, "But no," and they're like, "But yeah, totally, that's what you were gonna do. We know." Stop, police, for shit that you didn't even do yet. I think it was like Minority Report or something like that. I don't really watch a whole lot of movies and shit. I don't remember half the movies I watched unless it was Dragon Ball Z. Then I can tell you what happened scene by scene. I
oh god, I'm trying to think of that movie. I know what you're
think it
talking
was.
about.
I think it was Minority Report. If my dad was awake, he would know because he's like that's all he does is watch movies. So like he would know because I know he would know because like it was a really popular movie back in like I think it was either in like I think it was the early thousands or something or
That
the
is
late
it.
90s.
That is it.
Minority
It's got Tom Cruise in
Minority
it.
Report.
Yeah, that is you. It is
Yeah,
Minority Report.
yeah, horrible fucking movie.
Couldn't have been too bad. I never saw it, but it couldn't have been too bad. It was directed by Steven Spielberg.
Neither did you goddamn puppet. It was directed by one of the best Illuminati puppets out there. I love it. It's got to be good. Like M Night Shyamalan. Huh.
M. Night Shyamalan.
One of these days we're gonna have a fucking like the New Testament brought to you by M Night Shyamalan. I'm not gonna try and pronounce his name. I don't want to. Just Shyamalan. He gets a sound effect for a name.
it's M.
That's
Night
what he gets
something
for
and
making the.
gibberish.
That's exactly. It's what you get for making The Village, you piece of shit. I've wasted money on that movie. I'm never gonna let them know. I'm never letting it go. Fuck him. Piece of shit. Movie sucked, and he knows it sucked. He knew it sucked when he fucking made it.
What movie are you talking about?
The Village.
Oh god, that movie was terrible.
The Village, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Fucking wasted $16 of my money. I could have saved that money and gone to a good movie. But no, I thought that was a good movie because the trailers made it look like it was a good movie. They fucked me with Blair Witch too. They did the same thing to me with Blair Witch. I should have known better.
Dude, that movie was.
That was back before. Yeah, Blair Witch is trash.
It really
I'm,
was.
dude, literally, I get the same experience from Blair Witch as I get when my 2-year-old, well, I guess he's 3. Yeah, he is 3 now. My 3-year-old has the phone and he's trying to talk to me on Facebook, but all I ever get is like his forehead and him around walking into random rooms, and they only see random things, and then every now and then he'll just sit the phone down so that you're staring at nothing but a light. It's my son would have been perfect as the director and cameraman of the Blair Witch Project.
Pretty much.
I mean, like that's just the thing. They put out so many horrible movies back then that now all the movies they program us with, we don't mind watching them because we're like, fuck yeah, look at these graphics. Do you know what I had to suffer through in the 80s?
Do you know what kind of horror movies we had in the early to mid 90s? We had garbage.
Exactly. I don't care that they're programming me with esoteric symbols that are actually putting demons into my household. That's fucking fine as long as I get these graphics. Holy shit, did you see that blood?
Did you see that dude get his throat slit? That actually looked real.
For real.
You know, back in my day, when somebody got their throat slit on camera, the fake skin fell off before the knife was all the way through.
And usually the strawberry jam they were using kind of like just did not kind of run down the right way. You should clot it up a little bit. Wasn't quite as appealing. But that's the one thing we're definitely going to be doing an episode on, man, is all like some of the esoteric symbols and the fucking actually, there's a lot of black magic symbols in a lot of these like music videos I've been watching lately. Like you'll catch little glimpses, and if you know what to look for, dude, there's almost summoning rites in some of these videos.
Oh, yeah.
Really mean that if you were to watch that whole video, and they do have the complete incantation written in the symbolic language, you could technically summon a demon in your house just by watching a video.
True.
Do you know how many kids out there would like not? How many people out there understand like the symbols from black magic and how to speak the names of demons, through symbols? Like, there's not too many of y'all out there that have looked into that. Like, there's
definitely
summoning
real.
rites. I mean, people talk about the Illuminati symbols, but y'all need to talk more about the sigils that are in some of these videos. I mean, technically, and if you and there a lot of these dance moves and stuff too, there's a certain symbology behind a lot of it and are legitimate. Like you wonder why there's record numbers of possessions on the rise. Nobody studies into demonology anymore. Y'all don't look at the outside. Y'all trust y'all's churches, which have become corrupt. Y'all trust y'all's mainstream, which won't save you from anything. You believe your religions blindly, but you don't truly believe your religions because you're not actually trying to get in touch with your higher power. You just do what the church says is necessary. You do what your religious leader tells you is necessary, but you don't think with your own heart. You don't talk to your higher power, you know? So, because of that, you've been left completely open to the powers of black magic. You've been left open and unprotected on all sides to anything that wanted to hurt you from outside this dimension. That's kind of what I'm getting, what I've been getting at for a long time now is like we've exposed ourselves to this.
Exactly.
You know?
We've pretty much just took our guard down and said, here, have fun.
Oh, that sounds really Christian of you. I'm not talking about things from a Christian. Why does everybody have to relate demons and dark energy to Christianity? Like,
Demons,
y'all not understand that demons exist in every religion on the face of this planet?
yeah, demons were acknowledged millions of years before Christianity was ever even a thought in somebody's head.
Or it's aliens.
Do what?
Those guys. We know there's going to be a few of those guys that pop up on the channel.
Of
But
course.
those are aliens. It's all aliens. I'm not saying there's not aliens, but I'm also not saying that there are aliens. I don't know. I kind of look at things more as interdimensional. I'm not necessarily sure that what we see in space is space. I think that that's like maybe doorways to another dimension. Every planet we see is technically a doorway. What we see from NASA is not what they're actually seeing.
I think that's what we should go in tomorrow is UFOs and stuff like that, and then
That's what our other channel's for.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll go on our other channel.
Oh yeah, what's the other channel's name? Plug it. I forgot. We haven't even put a video up on it, so I totally forgot
Yeah,
what
it's
that
over
one is. I don't
over a
even.
year. I think I'll just make another channel
Uh,
because
well, however, or we can put it on this one. You just have to create a subfolder for all that shit.
yeah, we could do that.
Sub playlist. I don't know what you call it. I'm not a YouTube guy. I'll just fucking do this to do this, like, so that we can talk and bring other people into the talks. Like, I don't know what you want to call it. I'm not looking to be YouTube famous. Fuck YouTube. If we had a better platform, we would be on it. But we're not. We're here. Sorry, YouTube. Fucktards.
But I will say that we are going to start putting out more constant content on this channel.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Especially now that I've got the hang of this. I had no, like, there's like a few minor seconds of hang up, like, before we went live, and, like, so far it's been easy peasy. Seems like everything's going well. I mean, obviously, people can hear me if people were commenting in the chat about lions and chickens.
Yeah.
I'm glad that got somebody. As long as I made somebody laugh today, my job is done.
I agree.
Everybody's been so upset about, people who hang themselves and such, and that being such a monumental thing to their life to where, they totally forgot about everything else that's going on. But yeah, if I made you smile, good job. Yay. Pat yourself on the back. You're a big boy now.
I don't get.
You need to stop coughing, sir. You're fucking dying over there.
Dude, I'm getting sick of it for real.
Like I did about 3 years ago and fucking cough till your lung collapses.
Hopefully not.
Huh? They'll prescribe you some pretty cool drugs when after it does. I didn't take them. I don't take drugs. But from the people who were like, hey, I'll take them if you don't want them, I just gave them. Fucking apparently they give you some strong drugs when your lung collapses. I refuse to take that shit though. I don't need no pills.
Yeah, I prefer not to take anything that comes from a doctor.
I prefer not to take anything that comes from anywhere that I like, unless I decide I want it. Like, fucking, it's just how it is. Like, I'm starting to question buds sometimes because I'm like, man, how do we know that the government's not spraying our bud plants now, trying to kill us off that way too? Like, I'm sure once they fully legalize marijuana, they're going to find a way to cause it to become toxic to us, just like everything else.
Oh, I'm
They
sure.
done made water toxic. They couldn't just give us water. Now they're making air toxic. They don't want to just let us have air. That's too much. Can't let us just have food.
It's
It
not good
has to
for
be
you.
toxic.
We have to make it better. We have to make it more healthy for you, or you die from this shit.
We make it more healthy for you, and you will die fast. You die fast now. You will die a long time. It take too long. We don't want it to take so long, so we give you super corn. Super corn make you die fast.
Fucking super.
I don't know why we are Asian, but we are because we want you to die super fast. Fuck you, dolphin, and fuck you, whale.
Nuke the gay whales for Christ.
Obligatory South Park references over and over again.
Yes.
Oh, one of these days, man, one of these days, YouTube's just gonna pull our channel and be like, these guys are fucking cunts.
These guys are assholes. I don't know how we've missed this channel
They'll
for so
send us a
long.
letter saying, you guys are cunts. It'll be in capital letters, that'll be the title of it. You two are fucking cunts. And, like, it'll be from the, like, owner of YouTube. And, it'll just be the first time he's ever gone off on anybody like that. He's just like, you're fucking cunts. You're worthless pieces of shit. I wish your mother had swallowed. And we're like, hey, now you know how we feel about everyone else.
It's like, I wish your mother would have swallowed, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of do too.
For real. Go back in time and like the minute my mom and dad start having sex, I just pop out of nowhere from the closet and start choking both of them. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Not tonight, motherfucker. Not tonight.
As you slowly start to vanish, they're just like, who the fuck? What was that? Was that a ghost? It is now.
It's
Oh,
like
we have a
you pull
dark
your
sense of
dad off the
humor.
top of your mom and just shove her head down on him right as he's about to bust one.
I wouldn't even do that much. I wouldn't let him get started, dude. Fucking, I'd make them run as far away from each other as humanly possible.
Just show up in a clown
But then you wouldn't
costume.
exist. That's the whole fucking point. I don't want to exist. This is crap. But see, I don't commit suicide. I just acknowledge the fact that this is crap.
Exactly.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, you can make it as good as you want, but it's never going to be good as long as these elitists have their power structure, you know? The most you can be is content with the slavery you have.
Exactly.
But anyway, this is probably the longest live stream we have ever done. I applaud you, Brandon, for sticking in this long, but it is 12:07. It just turned 12:07, so Wraith is going to take his happy ass to bed.
And Brandon is going to do the same thing because I'm fat and lazy.
Well, I'm not fat, but I'm definitely tired. I walked around today and it was hot. And you know how I am. I walk around like, fucking. I don't ever just sit inside for too long. I find
Yeah, I
that to be
try
a
not to.
pointless existence. So, anyway, thanks for tuning in, everybody, especially those of y'all that were actually, commenting in the chat or whatever. I'll probably hop off as soon as I get off of here. I'll hop on Facebook and view some of the comments that y'all had, and because we love feedback. At least I do. Unless you're trying to troll. If you're trying to
Then
troll.
we just troll back.
Well, yeah. Most people have already seen what happens when you try to troll us. If y'all have been following us in these groups, like, I'm not the nicest of guys. When you try, like, you don't want to get on my bad side. That's a definite thing. Otherwise, like we've said, if you want to get in touch with us, um, of course, y'all see who's sharing the Metal Truthers links. We are the hosts of this. We don't give a fuck if y'all know who we are or not. But yeah, I'm not gonna say my name. Like, but obviously my picture is right there. I'm not hiding who I am by any means. Y'all can look at my video. You motherfuckers have Google. Uh, Bing. Bing actually popped up my picture. Pissed me off. I was like, oh, how come I'm up there? Ah, motherfucking Brandon. He had to search down for him. Oh, yeah, we'll put my motherfucking face. And they didn't even get a good side of me. They got fucking ugly ass shots of me. Like, still shots the worst time. Made me look all retarded and shit. Fuck you, Bing.
I like looking retarded.
God, motherfucker, you could have, like, at least caught me in my most, like, provocative Chewbacca stance or something. I'm fucking caught just, fuck you, Bing. Assholes. Anyway. We appreciate it, y'all. But like on a serious note, like I said, if y'all want to get involved with the channel, and like I said, we do want some more like religious context on here. Religious, so don't get preachy with us because we don't give a fuck. But there are people out there that would probably rather hear like a Christian perspective,
Yeah.
maybe. We're also looking for a female host of some sort because feminine aspect on here because that always helps to have a female point of view because yeah, they're better at talking about feminism, things like that.
Women are generally more level headed. Guys are
You know,
pretty much just run in and tear shit up.
yeah. Either nail it down or we'll take it, and if we can't take it, we'll burn it. If we can't burn it, we'll fuck it. If we can't fuck it,
It probably don't need to exist.
well, we'll burn it.
Yeah. Like If we can't
Again.
burn it and we can't fuck it, then it probably don't need to exist.
Again.
Fuck it, then it probably don't need to exist.
Yeah, that's the guy logic.
For the most part.
Maybe. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, totally. We're signing off. I'm tired rambling.
I am too.
Going to sign off now.
Good night,
We
everybody.
appreciate it.
Keep it real. Keep it metal.
Keep it metal. Check us out, Facebook, Metal Truthers on Facebook. Message us if y'all would like to take part in the channel. Otherwise, whatever. You know, just keep tuning in and we'll keep doing this. Peace.